This is your host, Carmen Radford, welcoming you back to another episode of the Calm and Chaos podcast, the space where we discuss everything from motherhood, relationships, and well-being to education, music, and so much more. Okay, here we go. Welcome back to the Calm and Chaos podcast. This is your host, Carmen Radford, and today I'm joined by Minniina, a wonderful personal trainer and positive psychology coach. She has somehow intertwined the two most important things in our journey, really, to get a really good balance in life. So welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So actually, I was going to start a little bit with my journey because I think you might have a little bit of insight for me. I played loads of sports growing up, and so exercise was really just a side benefit of my favorite activities. And it was also social group and support. And so now, this much later in life, trying to get a lot more serious about exercise again, I feel like I have to figure out now because I'm not playing sports. I'm learning golf a bit and I would love to play football again, but realistically, like the mom life is real. There's not a lot of time. And so I really want to find out, what do I love aside from dog walking that is really going to motivate me and feel good. Um, so before we get into everything, for the listeners, can you explain a little bit about what you do, what you qualified for, what's your journey?
So I am a personal trainer and positive psychology coach, and I adore my job. I'm really happy and I love it because I've noticed, like, just like what you were saying in the beginning, that you have to enjoy what you're doing, I think. And it's only like when people like sometimes people think fitness or wellness is just about lifting weights.
Yeah.
But there's so much more to it. Like, put your favorite music on and dance 3 minutes and it gives you the happy hormones and all those things. So I'm on a bit of a mission to sprinkle happiness and well-being around and just help busy people to feel strong again. Because
Yes.
I feel like if you're looking after yourself, life is just a little bit easier. Everything feels more doable and you have more solutions and your brain just operates better when you have some happy hormones in you.
Yeah.
Um, I have 3 children.
Mhm.
And I've got 2 cats and 1 husband. I'm originally from Finland, but
Yeah.
I've lived here for almost 20 years now. But yeah, that's me, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's amazing. I think you're on such a good role in, women's health, I feel, is becoming more and more at the forefront of awareness, really, and so much of it anecdotal. So I'm assuming you get to hear a lot of, the good, the bad, and the ugly of what women are going through, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's quite sad sometimes that you almost feel like you have to fit in a mold. Like, especially like I'm 42 now and lots of my friends or clients are hitting kind of the perimenopause age and it's almost like loads of people kind of just end up like going in that mold without finding solutions and what's actually holding them back. You almost like feel like you hit the certain age and this is what you're meant to be. And it's just, isn't it, just trying to help everyone to find their journey and not believe everything they see on social media, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and really being in tune, like the first step, would you say, is really being in tune with your body, listening to
Yes.
your body.
Which is so hard sometimes, isn't it? Like we all know when you've had aches or pains, you're tired, but if like walking or running is like your therapy, basically, you want to go and do it, but your body is like, just rest,
Mhm.
rest. So it's really hard to listen to your body sometimes, but it really is the key.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, how do you make time for your own fitness? Do you work out alongside your clients, or is it something that you prioritize somehow in your busy life?
Well, I feel like it's been a bit of a journey, and I've had to adapt to moments. So my youngest one is 8 now, and my boys are 17 and 14. So it's been like I had to, at some point, I was really struggling to find time for my own wellness,
Mhm.
and I had to create a morning routine. I don't like getting up early in the mornings, but that was my only time because
Yeah.
if I didn't do it early morning, then I would be doing like 9 o'clock in the evening and I just wasn't enjoying it. It felt like such a burden. And then if I didn't do it, I felt even worse. So I think you just have to adapt where your life is. And I actually did home workouts for like 6 years because that's all I could do. And my husband was working long hours, so I couldn't just leave the three kids at home and go to places. So I think for my own wellness, I've had to adapt. And then sometimes I've been running more. And recently I actually joined a gym because I was like, actually, this time in my life now, I have a few more windows that I can go to a class. And as a PT, it's quite nice that I can just go and someone else can tell me what to do.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, and like obviously I could do it all myself, but it's nice just to go. And I was like, okay, tell me what to do next and
Yeah.
just enjoy. And I do try to do as much as I can with my clients. It really depends on my client and what technique they have. But like this, just before this, I was throwing sandbags around in a park for 50 minutes with my client, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
That's so good. And I think it must be, and as you said, for some clients, but it must be nice for some of them to see you join in and to sort of have like a partner in it.
Yeah,
And
it's always nice to do together, isn't it?
yeah. And so how are you joining in? So being a positive psychology coach, what sort of sparked your interest in that and what made you pursue that to join it alongside the physical health?
So, do you know what? I felt like before I did this course, I was almost like a therapist to my clients anyway. And I would go to these sessions and they would just like, oh, like sometimes they would cry, sometimes they would just be so like frustrated. And it would often like, when you exercise, you really push yourself, all those emotions are coming out. And I was like, I just want to be able to help them even more. And when I did my positive psychology course, it was just like the missing piece because now I know what questions to ask. And I do know, like often I get make people cry with my questions because it's so deep. Like, you just when you ask the right question, it really you find the true meaning of something. And I have this saying, like for my work, that you can't make a change if you don't know what's holding you back. And I think I really feel like it's that the key is just finding the reason. Like you often have people who just say, I'm just not motivated to exercise. And it's often because of past trauma or something's happened. Even like they might have been picked last for a team at school, like 20 years ago, and it's left a negative emotion with that. So it's just really trying to figure out what is holding this person back. And sometimes I have PT sessions that we got weights planned, but they come here and they just need to be listened. So we just grab dumbbells and we walk in the woods for 50 minutes. So we do things, but also I bring a few tissues with me and we just talk because sometimes like the worst thing you can do to your body is to put it through a really hard workout if you're emotionally and mentally drained. So I do feel like this positive psychology coaching has really helped me to help my clients even more and to understand where they're coming from and why they're struggling.
Hmm. And when you're holding on to stress or anxiety and you don't even sometimes you don't know what it is, like you're saying, but all that, then your body is tense, isn't it? And it's really hard to
Mm,
properly relax into a physical workout, isn't it?
yeah,
And
absolutely.
laughing or crying, like these are releases that humans really, really need. And I think crying is one of those things a lot of us, resist almost,
Mm,
you know,
yeah,
and also and equally we almost don't make the space to find the things that really make us giggle because those two things release so much of that pent stress in your body, and then suddenly you're gonna
yeah.
release that and you will be in a much better place to have a proper workout, won't you?
Oh, absolutely. And we've done it other way around as well. Like we planned something and I just got the boxing gloves out because I was like, I think we need to
Get it
do
out.
boxing today to get the frustration out. So it is just like, yeah, just doing it with the mindset and yeah, and yes, if your body is really exhausted, yeah, you just kind of feel like you're failing because you can't lift the weights you normally lift, you can't do the jumps you normally do. So it's like no one wants to leave a session like they failed or they feeling super weak and all those things. It really is, it's quite hard sometimes to read your client actions. Like, what do they actually need? Like, what do they need that they can leave little bit happier, little bit feeling even more fabulous, just those tiny little changes. That's what you kind of want them to leave with. So it is kind of tricky sometimes to decide what it is that they need.
But how wonderful. I absolutely love that you're doing both of those things in harmony because you're going to help people so much more doing that. Like you really are, you know? And they're going to feel so much more empowered and it's just this holistic look at health, which is what we really need, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
So, what are your favorite activities? I know that you just tried High Rocks, which looks incredible and also incredibly challenging. Can you tell us a bit about it?
So I have been watching like some of my friends and some of the people I follow on social media do this high for the last 2 years. And I've been like, this looks so tough, but it looks amazing. And what I realized, I don't know if you can relate to this, but I'm fine just doing like everyday training, but I love an event. I love a goal that I train for. And I'm sometimes it's nice not to have that, but quite often I love a deadline. I just love I love a purpose. I like purpose to train for something. So
Yeah.
I was looking into this and last year, like in when I was writing my little goals for this year, my little bucket list, I was like, I really want to do high rocks this year. So
Mm.
when I got this opportunity, like, I don't know, less than 4 weeks ago, I was like, can I do it? And I just threw myself into it. And it was a women's double, which like anyone who's thinking of high rocks, I think doing the double first is the best way because you share in, you both have to run, but there's 8 different exercises. So you share those exercises. So you kind of get a breather as well.
Hmm.
But do you know what? It is so inclusive environment. There's all different shapes and sizes and ages and abilities. I mean, don't get me wrong, the top ones, the elite ones, they are the most lean and fit people I've ever seen. But like kind of the open category, I think it's very everyone's welcome. I mean, tickets are really hard to get hold of. It reminded me of a bit of a ticket master when I was trying to get like, Coldplay tickets or something. But like, yeah, so it is hard to get into it. But if you can, I feel like just take this opportunity and give it a go. I think you would love it.
I do agree. I think that goes back to, being in competitive sports for so long, there always was a
Mm.
purpose. You wanted
Yeah.
to show that up for your team, and so you had to show up for yourself. You
Mm.
had to train, you had to put in the work, and yeah, and having a goal. And it's all the little intrinsic rewards. So I think it's great to have that, ultimate goal, and then at each one of your workouts or whatever activity you're doing for well-being, making sure you're doing it in that purposeful way so that you get those little intrinsic rewards,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Little hits of
And
happiness. Yeah.
yeah. One of the things I talk with my clients, like, for example, if my client wants to lose weight, one of the things I get them to do always because of this little goal is like, I was like, is there any outfit that you really want, it's a little bit too tight, but you love it and you're feeling a bit sad you can't wear it, but you really want to feel fabulous in it again. And they put that outfit on, they take some photos, and that is their goal. So then every week I say, like, take a picture in this outfit in so you can see the change because the scale doesn't always change or it's hard to sometimes measure your strength. So I was like, to take this outfit that, for example, you want to now wear for, I don't know, end of May or in 3 weeks time, take this outfit as your goal. And because it's so motivating, you can keep trying it on like a couple of times a week or once a week, and then you're gonna feel so amazing when it's on. So that's a different goal from event or something like that. But it's just everything, like, you just gotta find what matters to you the most, don't you? And then focus on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that. And that's what you're doing is you're targeting what your client needs. And that's amazing.
Mm.
So how has your knowledge and your career and your experience, how has it trickled into family life? And what do you think your kids are maybe observing, or how do they respond to your really wonderful look at health?
Um, we've always been a very active family. And I think, and I know you can be active parents and your kids may not pick it up. I know that can happen too. But yeah, we've always loved doing activities and my kids have always had hobbies, to the point that I've actually had to be like, okay, I think that's too much. I think you need a rest day. So just finding a balance that way around. So,
Yeah.
and we love like doing skiing together. And now that the kids are older, it's obviously changes, adapts, doesn't it, when your children get older or if, when they're tiny. And now like I love going for a family walk with them and we can walk the pub or something. And two of them are teenagers and they may not want to always do that with us, but so I'm not saying we do that every weekend, we
Yeah.
don't, but when we do, it's absolutely lovely. And what I really hope that this will teach them that fitness and wellness is part of your life,
Yeah.
that it's not a burden, it's something that you have to do, but something you want to do. And that's why I always say to my clients, because most of my clients are, I just can't find time to exercise. And lots of people feel like they can't exercise with the kids, they have to find a child-free time to exercise. And I'm always like, just it does. I know that the workout may not be as amazing as it would be without them if they come interrupt you a few times. But I was like, but you're teaching them. Your
Yeah.
children are always watching you. So it's like, do exercise in front of them if you can. I know sometimes you have to pause it 10 times, but you're teaching them and they might join in, even if they do like a one press up with you. Hey, that's amazing, isn't it? It's just, and you kind of teaching those life habits for them. So when they are older, they will hopefully not like question it twice that they have to fit some workouts in, and I have to schedule my workouts in, they don't happen otherwise.
Yeah.
But then hopefully that is like I will schedule my work, I schedule my workouts in same time, and I guess it's part of my work a little bit as well. But yeah, I just hope my children will be inspired to stay active and just find things that make them happy. And
Yeah.
it's really nice that I did the high rocks, and now my eldest one wants to do high rocks, and I said, oh, let's try to find mixed doubles and we could do it together. And I found like there's a little one's high rocks as well, and I'm trying to find out how we can do, because my two youngest I think would do that one. And yeah, and I love it. And when we go skiing, it's nice because there's a bit of an age gap with my children. So it's nice to something we can all do together.
Of
So I
course.
just always think the more active we can be as a family, I guess more memories we make, and we make better habits for their adulthood as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Amazing. Yeah, I think I feel like I sympathize when, especially a busy mom is like, it's really not motivating to try and do a proper workout with your kids and you're stop and go and
Mm.
go. But, when my kids were little, I had, two under, did I have two under three? Yeah. And,
Yeah.
I would dance with them in their carrier and then start, doing like sit-ups with them or whatever. And then now as they get older, we do bits of yoga and we do breathing, and it's not for an hour or even a half hour. It's like 5 minutes of stretching, 3 minutes of stretching. You know, when you're feeling worked up, they know to breathe now. Sometimes like on their
Mm.
own, they'll remember that. And
Mm.
it's just laying all these foundations, isn't it? And but my kids are both really active as well. And so going for a walk, I mean, we've got two dogs, and every once in a while they'll moan, I don't want to take the dogs out. Well, we have dogs, we have to get out. It's good for them, it's good for you.
Yeah.
And it is just going to be something that they remember. I mean, I think that's probably why we have dogs now, because I grew up with dogs, and every
Yeah.
weekend just family walks. And now those are
Yeah.
some of my favorite memories. So yeah, I think you're very right. Just weaving it into your family life. They watch you and they learn, don't they?
And
Yeah.
they learn the good and bad, don't they? Like, so if you can
Yeah.
choose more things that are beneficial for them, then amazing. But obviously, they will learn lots of things from us. But yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything maybe like a little inside knowledge that you could maybe give some tips to women around our age? I'm 37 and I feel like almost everything I listen to, podcasts and stuff, we're all touching on perimenopause, menopause, and a doctor on a podcast I listened to earlier today, he was a man and he was saying about his wife, he realized when she started experiencing perimenopause symptoms, there's no package that a doctor is going to give you and say, here you go, this is going to help.
Mm.
So we're really trying to help each other. Is there anything that you would want to add about that?
Yeah, I guess in my kind of positive psychology coaching brain, there is this. framework, which is called PERMA framework, which is all about like it's the 6 steps to 6 pillars, which is like positive emotions, engagement, which is like your strengths, and when you feel like almost like you're in a flow, that you lose the track of time, you're having such a fabulous time, and relationships, meaning, accomplishments, and health.
Yeah.
And they say that if those 6 pillars are really uneven, it
Mm,
affects your happiness. And I feel like often women who come to that age, it's not very balanced because they may have, everything has changed with motherhood, especially, if you've had children, and often it's a relationship, but may have kind of like been on a back burner a little bit, or you may have forgotten your purpose, like you just want to be that good mom, or for example, but you've forgotten yourself, or you've forgotten like where is the time when you're happiest outside of that family life, and you just keep serving others so much that your positive emotions are just driven by everyone else. But if someone would ask you, what do you enjoy doing,
yeah.
you wouldn't even know what to say because you just simply forgotten because you've been so busy. So I would add to that that if you make sure that you look after yourself and you know what makes you happy, I think it will help with the perimenopause as well, because when those hormones start changing and you start having like up and downs, and suddenly you're so angry, don't know why, and all those things, or lots of women start getting more injuries. Like if you have a hypermobile when you were younger, the hormone changes can make it worse again. And I noticed on my right side I'm started getting more injuries now, and it's just bizarre, and I'm just like, wow, like why? And one of my clients was experiencing the same, and actually she went to see a doctor about it. And there's so many things, but I think if your kind of happiness and well-being pillars are kind of balanced, it's much easier to deal with these changes.
Yeah.
So I think like if you can get yourself into fairly good place with your headspace,
Mhm.
then any obstacle thrown at you, you have more positivity, you have more options, you're more open for solutions around you. So I think I will say that like look after your happiness. And some people say like self-care is so selfish, but I'm like, it's the most selfless thing you can do, because how different are we when we're not looking after ourselves? Like,
Hey, it's night and
oh
day.
my, yeah, yeah. So if you keep looking after yourself, then when these little changes happen, because it's normally gradual, it's not, you don't normally go downhill with everything straight
Yeah.
away. It's normally little things here and there. But if
Mhm.
you're listening to your body, you know where you are, then you can kind of tackle them one at a time, and ask for help. I would say like
It's
don't
strong.
settle for being unhappy.
I agreed. That's a perfect answer. And so I'm gonna write all about the perma. We'll talk about that after, and I'll get that up
Yeah,
so everyone can, take that for
yeah,
themselves. Yeah,
yeah.
it's so true. Exactly what you just said. Like I can't even add to that. It's yeah, 100%. Well, before I ask you my last question, is there anything else you want to add?
Anything else I want to add? I don't know. It's been lovely. I think it's just like what I would love to, I guess, people just to remember, just to feel happy, like find those happiness. And I have one of these little tips that I on my phone.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to share this tip, which is really good. I have little reminders popping up every day,
Yeah.
and you need to obviously choose something that is meaningful to you. And one of my little reminders, well, I have drink more water is one of my reminders that pops up on my phone. But one of mine is that I'm grateful for what I have and what's coming to my way, and that pops up every day on my phone. I think that's one of the really easy happiness hacks, is to just have some reminders that daily who just remind you who you are and what makes you happy. And there's been so many times that something's gone completely wrong and this thing has popped up. I was like, okay, that's very true. Things could be worse. So
Yeah.
maybe that's just what I'd like to add, is just find little ways to feel happier, find little ways to look after yourself, whether it's just going out for walking around the block. Exercise doesn't have to be an hour. It can be
Yes.
5 minutes.
Yeah.
Just find small pockets of time to look after yourself, and little things add to big results, right? So just look after yourself, even if it means tiny little pockets of time.
Yeah, exactly. I think a common theme that I'm noticing just on my episodes is like habits can create results. Tiny little
Yeah,
habits, because that 5-minute walk can turn into 6 minutes, can turn into a half hour, or it sparks something else because you're out in nature and you have a reminder of something that makes you happy, like whatever it is, but those tiny little things every day, they do add up. And I think it's the hardest thing maybe as a human to say, like, I really want to, you know, back to one of your examples, I want to lose weight. Well, it's not going to happen overnight. And you have
Mm,
to understand, like, accept that first. And then every single day, be really gentle with yourself as you do
yeah,
create these habits. Because it will,
yeah,
they, like you say, it will have a big result if you stick with it. And you know what? I do
yeah,
that with my phone as well. And my reminder daily is slow down because it just lets me reset and it lets me be okay. Because it just gets so busy, doesn't it? And then you're rushing and this and that. And I find that, like, if I rush, more mistakes happen and more
yeah,
stress happens,
yes.
you know? And so mine is just like that little thing of slow down. And every time I see it pop up, I'm like, oh yeah.
Breathe, slow
Yeah.
down. I love that.
I don't
Can
have
I
to
just
be so
add one
fast.
more thing, actually?
Yeah.
That there's one of the things that lots of my clients, it is about kind of weight loss, but lots of my, like, coming to this age, like 40 plus or something, or from 35, people are like, oh, I just can't lose weight anymore, or, and I think we should be honest with ourselves as well sometimes, because what happens is our priorities change when we get older often. Like, you go quite a more towards what makes you happy than, when I was 20, for example, if I wanted to lose 5 pounds, nothing would stop me doing that. I would be consistent and strict with my plan. And now I'm like, oh yeah, let's make cupcakes because that makes us happy. And then I'm there tucking into my fresh cupcake, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I was meant to lose this 5 pounds. Or might be like my girlfriends come around and we have like a bit of Pims or something. And I was like, oh yeah, I was meant to be strict. So what I would like to also say, like, be honest with yourself where you are. So don't always just look outside, oh, who can help me? Because often you can really help yourself. You just kind of like almost like start tracking what you're doing, what makes you happy, and just, yeah, just be honest with yourself and see what can you change to feel
Mhm.
even better.
Yeah, yeah, amazing. Okay, well, before I ask you where everyone can find you, this is just the final question for all my guests. So, what is, and I feel like we've hit on this a number of times, but what is something that helps you stay calm in all of the chaos?
It is just my exercise, and I call it woods therapy. So I just go running in woods, or even walking in woods, and I just love being outside and moving my body. Like yesterday, I was really tired and I really struggled, so I just did a bit of hula hooping in my garden, and then I did that, and then I started doing my weights because I was kind of in the zone.
Yeah.
But sometimes, yeah, for me, I just have to get going with my exercise. And obviously rest days are important too, but for me it's the movement. I think that helps me to stay calm,
Yeah.
and it helps me to stay happy.
Yeah, wonderful. I love it. So, where can everyone find you on social media and how can people book with you?
So I am Minniina Wellness on Instagram. So Minniina is MINNINA, and then Wellness, or just Minniina Abbott on Facebook. I do have a website which is www.minniinaabbott.com, and yeah, all my courses and retreats and everything is mentioned there. But yeah, come
Amazing. I'll
along.
link everything so that people can easily find you. But thank you so much for being here. It's so enlightening, and I really just think you're really inspirational. So, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. I loved it.